Alright YouTube, what's going on? Today we're going to talk about a dash cam. This is a rear view mirror dash cam that snaps over your existing rear view mirror, so it doesn't require additional suction cups or additional space or anything like that on your window. It has a rear camera also that you can run a cable for. I've actually got a couple of these right now. This one's a little bit higher end. It's from a company called VanTop. It's the Discovery H609. I'll put links to where I got this in the description field. So let's open this up and see what we got here. Okay, packaging is nice. Everything's wrapped up tight. So there's the mirror. These are all the different accessories they give you. This is how it actually straps around the existing rear view mirror. Looks like they've got a long cable for the rear webcam. There's that right there. They've got a long cable that looks like a micro USB type of USB adapter. So here's the actual mirror itself. This is what the straps go on to. So that mounts up and straps around your camera. It's talking to me. So nice thing about this this piece on the side here is that this moves out like that. So it can kind of reach around the edge of your rear view mirror, which allows you to still center this part on the mirror. So this is actually a touch screen. It has a button on the bottom to activate the touch screen, but you can also just touch the screen anywhere. So here's the memory options here. Here's the options here. You can go into settings. It has different things like loop recording. You can have it loop every 3 minutes, 1 minute, or 5 minutes. You can have it do motion detection. It can record audio. It has parking. So I don't really know what all these options are yet, but these are just some of the features that you have. It does do 1080p recording in both the front and the rear camera. I looked at the 4K ones, but they were a lot more expensive, and I just really don't think I need 4K video recording on this. 1080p should be fine. They also actually give you a pry tool, which is nice because that's how you actually run the cable along the edge of the, like underneath the trim along your roof line inside the car. They've got some mounting, two-sided mounts for, I would guess, would be the rear view cam. They do have some instructions. This does support up to a 128 gigabyte memory card, which is really nice when you're recording video from both a back and a front webcam, because that tends to eat up space really quickly. And if you have a small card, that means you're only going to get maybe about the last hour or two of recordings from your, when it's active. With 128 gig, you should you should be able to get several hours and maintain that before they get overridden. It does save video files in MOV format, and it can also take photos in JPEG format. So if you look at the top of the mirror, that's the the USB port, the rear cam port, and the micro SD card port. Nothing in the back other than speakers. And that's where the camera slides out. Alright, so I'm going to run the line for the rear webcam now. They give you a nice long cable. Looks like it's about 15 feet. You want to start this from the front because if you do have any excess, you're going to want that just to be able to wrap up in the back. You don't want all that laying around up in the front here, like behind the mirror or something like that. So I would recommend that you do wrap it around the base of the mirror once, just, you know, to avoid pull. You know, if you pull it, you don't want to actually bend or break this piece off because there's stress on the line of any sort. So then also when I run this, I'm going to tuck it up behind here. I'm going to have it go up behind the window and then come down this sleeve there and then basically go underneath this rubber all the way back. Now when I get to the center here, I'm going to tuck it into this little slot there, but then basically the rubber goes up to here, and then you just go through the seat. You put the seat down and you go into the trunk, or however you're going to mount it. You know, if you're going to put it on the window on the back, then it'll just come down the back and you can mount it back there. I'm actually mounting mine outside of the car on my louver, because the louver, if I mounted it on the inside, it would block too much of the view. And the camera is waterproof, so you can put it outside of the car. Alright, so for you guys that might be wondering how I hook this onto my louver, I take the cable all the way under through here. I come up through here. Now, I actually have LED strips already mounted on my window, on my rear window. Those are red LED strips that come on when the brakes come on, and they show through the slats in the louver. So I basically just ran the line up and tapped into the same mounts that are there for the LED lights. This is the end of the cable, and then on the underside of the louver, I basically just mounted the camera there, and that's the edge, the end of the cable that plugs into that other piece. So I'll show you what that looks like once I get this mounted. Okay, so there is the camera right there. So that's kind of high enough to get a good view of the back. I will see this here probably in about the bottom third of the screen, but it essentially lines up with the edge of this anyway, so I'm really not necessarily losing any view. All right, so here I have the feed from the rear cam as well as power. I'm going to put this on this, so this overlays the stock mirror, kind of like that. Now, it's not going to be an exact fit, depending on the size of your mirror. You can see that it overhangs a little bit there, but that's what's good about having this piece come out like that, is that, you know, it allows you to slide this over more so that it's lined up more centrally on the mirror. So now I'm going to try to get the rubber pieces hooked up right there. They strap around the mirror, and that's what holds it on there. Okay, so there it is. It's mounted. I don't know if you can see how these wrap around, and they go on these hooks. So there's a hook on the top and the hook on the bottom. Nice thing I like about this camera is it doesn't block your 911 and your assist buttons here. Other ones I've had actually block those. The mirror is a lot bigger and it blocks those. But try to see if you can see what this looks like from the rear. So you can see how the camera here kind of snakes around the edge, and this is adjustable. You can move it up and down to get, you know, the right footage there without having to like tilt your mirror up and down. So that's nice. Alright, so here's the split screen view of the front and the rear cam. So there you can see the front. Now in the rear, I put a little roll of electrical tape corner of the spoiler in the back. So you can see that this bottom edge is actually pretty much right in line with the top edge of the spoiler in the back. So I'm really not losing any visibility. I'm losing some off to the sides, but not directly in back of me, which is good. So you can toggle between, you know, full screen front, full screen rear. See, there's the split screen. So to stop recording, you would hit the stop button right there. And then if you want to take a picture, you can click the picture button. If you want to lock a certain video and prevent it from getting overwritten, then you can hit that one. You can turn on or off audio recording right there. For playback, you have to stop recording, and then you would hit the playback button, and it would give you a list of the various videos that you could scroll through. So you could show that to the police or something. You know, if you were in an accident, you'd be able to show them right on here. There is no Wi-Fi connectivity on this one like you see on some of the real more expensive type of cams, but you don't necessarily need that if you can show a cop inside the car what's going on. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go take a drive and capture some footage, and then I'll show you what the footage looks like. Rolling behind a nice Mustang here. This is what the audio sounds like from inside the car if you have the audio on. Sounds like with some of the windows open.